In my previous video around these LiFePO4 cells, which are planned to replace my lead acid battery bank here in the solar shed, well, I connected them together using this copper strip, which is a copper pipe which I have squashed and hammered and shaped and drilled, and then using these brass bolts to actually connect them to each cell, and I was pretty pleased with the result. However, I had a few comments asking why I wasn't compressing the cells together, particularly Off-Grid Dreaming and John Scott were of particular note. Thank you to them. Now, the issue is that these cells are encased in plastic, and it's possible that this plastic can expand with internal pressures within the cell. Now, they all have a pressure valve on top of each cell, but it has been known, and it's quite frequent, that the cells actually expand before the pressure releases in those pressure release valves. And if they expand, well, the capacity sadly goes down. So generally people put them right next to each other with no gaps and actually compress them together. So that's the plan for today. But of course, if I'm going to squash these together, I need to remanufacture my copper bus bars and work out a way of actually compressing all these cells. So let's bring on a little montage of how I've managed to get on and hopefully achieve that in the last few days. Now, the hardware I've used to hold those cells together is probably a little extreme, but it is April 2020 and we're in lockdown, and you kind of have to use what you can get hold of, don't you? It's worth noting that I haven't tightened those nuts down ever so tightly. I'm just holding those cells together rather than really squeezing them, but yeah, I think that'll work for now at least. Now I need to turn my attention to my bus bars, and you'll note I've not been able to put a hump in these because, well, I haven't got access to my 3D printer at the moment in lockdown either, so they're just going to have to remain flat. But you may recall from my last video, I was a little bit concerned about the amount of copper that was exposed on the top of my battery bank, so that's what I need to do now. I need to insulate these copper bus bars. So I've got hold of some heat shrink in a lovely white, and I think this will suffice. It's possibly a little bit big, but hopefully it will shrink down suitably. But I obviously need to ensure that I'm not going to put heat shrink on any of the areas that need to actually connect together, where the current will be flowing. I don't need to insulate my bus bars from each other. That would be a bad idea. And I think, well, I'm going to use this to try and work it out for myself. The top of the cells, the actual connectors, are roughly the same size as this penny washer. So we've got the top of each cell, or the connector on each cell. I'm then going to put my series bus bar first, because actually that is where the current should be flowing from one cell to another cell through the whole bank. The parallel bus bars shouldn't actually carry very much current at all, because that's where the cells are connected in parallel, and hopefully they're well balanced enough so that actually very little current should flow through this bus bar. Then I have a bolt and a washer that's going in the top of all of that. So essentially I have a small circle which I want to ensure touches this top bus bar. I have a square between the two bus bars that I need to make sure can touch each other nicely, and then I have a larger circle at the bottom which actually connects to the cells. So I need to think quite carefully how I'm going to apply the heat shrink and possibly cut areas away. And I also need to think that the next cell, of course, is going to be connected like that. So I need to, well, try and work this out in the neatest, nicest way I possibly can. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm making a terribly good job of this, if I'm honest. Cutting heat shrink to size is difficult because, well, you heat it and it shrinks. On the end that doesn't have a parallel bus bar here, I've kind of developed this sort of method. I'm using the bolts that I'm going to use. I've drilled a hole through the heat shrink, and then I can push that bolt through there. On the bottom I can use that penny washer, which was the same size as the tops of my cells. Tighten that all together temporarily, and then I can just cut around the washer, both washers in fact, top and bottom, and remove just about the right amount of heat shrink. So there we have it then. All my bus bars are wrapped in heat shrink to insulate them from any accidents. Not quite as neat as I would hope, to be honest, but yeah, white in the middle, black at the most negative point, red at the most positive point. Now all I need to do is connect them to my cells. So I'm fairly pleased with the results here. My LiFePO4 set is now compressed like it should be, and my bus bars look pretty neat, I think. They were more difficult to fit this time because everything's compressed. Well, the tolerances are so much smaller, so I had to slightly file and rework a couple of these bus bars. Perhaps that was poor measurement or poor drilling on my part earlier on. I did almost lose the thread on this cell up here. I was a bit heavy-handed with a bar that didn't quite fit properly, and I almost lost the thread in the aluminium positive connection of that cell there. Of course, aluminium being quite a soft metal, it's not difficult to lose that thread, but I've managed to clean it up, and that seems to be talking down okay again now. So yeah, I'm fairly pleased with my LiFePO set. I think this is quite good. Obviously the bolts are still exposed even though I've insulated all the bus bars, so I need to think of a solution, a cap that I can put over each of those bolts. Might think about 3D printing something. Yeah, I think I'm quite pleased with the result. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, comment if you can, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.